Hi friends, it's Andrea and I'm here with a tutorial on how to make a vellum overlay tag with scraps, and I'll make a couple journal prompts and then I'm going to show you some different ways to use the home stamp. So the home stamp from the Country Manor kit is what I will be using, and these stamps are, I generally design them so you can overlay them, so you can stamp home and then some of these sentiments with it. There's many ways you can do that, so I'll show you how to do that at the end. But first, I'm going to make a vellum overlay tag for my Thankful 30 journal, and I'm going to make a couple prompts as well. So let's get started. friends, so there's my tag with my vellum overlay. Megan on our creative team really inspires me with these vellum overlays. A lot of times she sews around the edges, you know, so that's something I can do. I set it aside because that distressed oxide ink takes a little while to dry. You see it sitting on it. So I'm going to put it over here. You could also get a stitch stamp. There's a stitch on the Journal Basics, I want to say 3 maybe. There might be on 1 and 3. But anyway, you could get that stitch stamp and stamp all the way around the edge, or you could stick it on the sewing machine. You can also make a shaker where you just sew the sides, you put your shakers in, and then you sew it closed. Megan does that a lot. So for me this time I just kept it simple. I had this little scrap piece of vellum, and so just made a quick tag. And then you see my journal prompt. So this is what I was talking about layering. If you want the same look, what you're going to do is stamp home in a light color. And I see a lot of people try stamp layering and they get frustrated. The trick is to stamp the back color in a light color, because you don't want dark and dark. It's not going to show up very well. It'll look a little messy. So you want to stamp home in light colors. So to do that, I have this tattered rose. Like this is too dark. This is too dark. This is okay if you stamp black over it, but it's still a little dark. This is a good color. See how light? You want it to be in the pastel range or the light range, and I have this one too, and this is a nice light color as well. So stamp home in a lighter color, and then stamp Is My Happy Place in the darkest that you can get. I would suggest like dark greens, browns, navy, or black. Black is always a really good choice for doing that double stamping. You don't have to stamp it like that, layered. It's just, it happens to be a look that I like, and I do design some of the stamps to stamp that way. You can also stamp it separately, like Comfort of Home, instead of stamping it on top of there. And so I'm going to show you the other combinations that you can make with the stamp. That's usually how I design them each month, is to make several combinations of prompts. And I'm going to grab this right here and make sure that I'm in frame. There we are. Okay. So now that I'm in frame, let's stamp some homes. Okay, so I'm going to stamp the lighter ones first. Sometimes you can double stamp. Second generation stamp. It's a good color. Okay, let's try the salvage patina. I have all of these distress oxides in the shop. I love them. They're very pretty. They're very easy to use. It's just a really good ink. I also have all of the premium dye ink Catherine Pooler. Those have super, super crisp images. So depending on what kind of look you want to get, I use Distress Oxide when I like to stamp a bunch of things together, because I don't know, it's something about it. The Distress ink, it just, I don't know, it looks good together. And it gives like a softer image, maybe that's what it is. It kind of gives a softer image, and it's okay if you stamp a bunch of things together. Catherine Pooler ink, what I have in shop, is super, super crisp. So, and they're very pigmented. So sometimes they don't layer as well. You can do light to dark, or you can blend with the Catherine Pooler inks. I don't really blend with the Distress Oxide. It's not my favorite blending, but I do blend with the Catherine Pooler inks. Those are really pretty, especially if you have the same color family. So I use different inks for different things. For this kind of layer stamping, Distress Oxide is my absolute favorite. Okay, and then here's the Tattered Rose. So I'm going to stamp the sayings on top, and then I'll also stamp them around. So like maybe I'll come over here and stamp a few things. Since I had this out last, I'll just use it for examples. All right. So what can you make with this stamp? I keep throwing my wet wipe away. Like I'm not going to use it anymore. I don't know. Anyway, All right, so that's home. So I've got a bunch of homes on here. Let me make sure again I'm in frame. There we go. I like to get out of frame and cut off the bottom. So checking for you. This little house you can put just about anywhere. It's a lot of fun to play with. So you can put it on the side. You can stamp it on the top. It's kind of just meant to, you know, layer. You cannot stamp home down your tag and then maybe 1 sentiment in the middle. I think that would look really nice. So I have no place like home. No place like home. And I have this cute little leaf. So I feel like this was off just a little bit. So why don't we just like, there we go. Okay. And there's also this little flower on there too. It's just cute. And you can fit these little flowers or these little leaves in when you need, you know, just like space filler. See how nice that looks together? All right, so no place like home. What should we do here? How about this feels like home? I'm going to center it, maybe stamp down on top of it a little. So that's the other technique, is you can stamp it in the middle, or you can stamp down on it, or you can stamp like right under it as well, right here. Or if you like to space it out, you know, you can space it out like that. So let's see what the other sentiments are. I think I did comfort of home already. So let's do home is where my people are. So this is meant to either be stamped. It is kind of long to stamp all the way across, so it's really meant to be stamped underneath. Home is where my people are. And if you want to like line it up on the left, you have a little bit of room to stamp your house there. So home is where my people are. Let's maybe do a first generation stamp of the tattered rose. It's a nice soft pink color. And the great thing about oxides is I like the way they, like, if they touch, you know, if this touches that, it looks fine. It blends fine. So that's why I use them to make little collages. All right, home is where my people are. So this is home is my happy place. So we got home is my happy place. And we've got, I think I stamped home as my sanctuary already, but we'll just stamp it again since I've got a few examples here. Okay, so for this one, like stamp, instead of stamping in the middle like this, you can stamp it like still up on it, but maybe at the bottom here. Home is my sanctuary. And then what does this one say? This is home. Let's see. And you can stamp that one at the top down just a little bit. So this is home. You're stamping on it, or you can stamp it a little farther up if you like it nice and neat and kind of spaced. So this is home. And just a quick experiment. I'm wondering what it would look like. Like, let's say, I don't know, this marigold. What if we stamp this house like in the middle there? Yeah, I don't like that. All right, experiment debunked. Okay, put the little house just about anywhere. You can line it up on the bottom. So those are all the things that you can get with the stamp set. I'm going to stamp a few more leaves and flowers just to do it. Especially since it's fall. I'm sure that you could probably stamp a motif too, like these little stamps on stamp sets. If you have some in your stash or if you get them in the monthly kit, they're just great for interest on your page. I try not to make my books too chunky. I definitely don't always make it there because I make chunky books, but I'm always looking for ways to add interest, but you know, not make it too unmanageable. So stamping is just a great way to do that. I'm just not getting a good impression. Maybe I should stop talking and start stamping. There we go. So anyway, that's it. So feels like home, no place like home. Home's where my people are. Home is my happy place. Home is my sanctuary. This is home. And then, you know, can use some of these little doodads and stamp it multiple different ways. Touching, not touching, above, below. You know, you can stamp these in color if you want. I like to stamp them in darker colors if I stamp this in lighter colors because it kind of just draws your eye out. So that's it. Multiple ways to use your kit stamp to make some journal prompts. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time. Bye, friends.